Hey, ciao, my friends. What's going on? You like my colorful little shirt today? No, I'm sure you don't, but you know what? I don't care if you do or you don't. Today is day number 42. The reason I put this on, it was a button-up shirt, and it was the first thing I grabbed out of my closet, and I haven't worn it in a video yet. Anyway, today's day number 42. I missed day number 41, and you want to know why I missed day 41? Let me tell you why. Okay, I was so pissed off yesterday. I made this really awesome, I fried a whole, like, half a kilo of pork. I cut it up, I fried it a little bit, and then I cut up a bunch of cabbage, some carrots, some potatoes, big, massive pot, okay? Browned the pork, put it in there. I had it cooking for about, I don't know, an hour. Sample the water. It needed salt. I took this gosh darn thing of salt. It had the blue thing on top. And in this apartment, in top of this salt shaker thing, it gets moist and it sticks, the holes get stopped up with moisture. So I was stupidly going like this, and the whole thing whole thing of salt into that. Oh, I was pissed. I spent all that money, all that time, and I really wanted to eat that soup. I tried to eat some of it unedible. Anyway, let's go here. What's going on? Firstly, let's look at the numbers here. The numbers here in Serbia. We have surpassed 8,000, my friends. It was up 233 today. We're at 8,275 with 162 deceased, up 6 from yesterday. So the deaths are, slightly, moving up pretty substantially. Let's see how many tests we did, though. Serbia did out of 7,700 tests. That's a lot. 7,700 tests. 233 positive. So the numbers, they're a little bit higher, but we're testing so many more thanks to the Chinese. Anyway, we passed the Philippines and Norway and Czech Republic and Australia. We're right next to Denmark and the Ukraine. What else is going on? The most significant thing here is the curfew. And there's a lot of anger about the curfew. They've came up finally. Yesterday they came out with the curfew, and it's going to start Thursday, my friends. Thursday at 6 p.m. till Monday at 5 a.m. That is like an unbelievable curfew. How many hours is that? Like 80 hours, whatever. That's a lot. So hopefully this will be the last major curfew that we have of this year. So I've got to make sure I get enough shopping done and everything, and so that's so annoying. Tomorrow, 9 a.m., this is getting cut, man. I got my hair appointment at Betcha here in Novi Sad. I'll try to make a video to show kind of what's going on in there. I saw one place open today. The lady had this shield on and gloves, and that's got to be really uncomfortable for the barbers. So I'm getting my hair cut. I'm excited about that. Then I don't have to wear this goofy hat. Another bit of info. I just got a message back from my my travel lady. I'm one of the program managers here in Serbia, and we have about 1,000 Balkan students we send to the USA every summer. This one company does all of our tickets for them. We get really good deals. So I messaged her and I said, hey, can I get a ticket for the first week of May to go back to Massachusetts? Whatever you have to do. If I have to go to London, if you think it should go back there. She said, what you should do is go straight to New York. She said, there's one on May 7th for 450 euros I can get you. She said, but let's wait a couple days just to see what happens with the airport. And another article just came out a minute ago, and it said from May 1st, the government may allow flights from Serbia's airports. May. We're getting all of that. Probably, may, gradual opening, all these ridiculous terminologies. Nothing solid. But it said if that is the case, they're going to see how the numbers look the next few days. see if this big curfew helps, and then they're going to say if the airport will be open. But they're going to have to wear safety gear, of course. It said even all passengers coming in and exiting the country are going to have their temperature taken and must wear gloves and masks. Alexander Vucic, he was actually in Sremska Mitrovica yesterday. Sremska Mitrovica, it used to be called Serbian. And it was the site, they say, of Vucic was there to commemorate all those thousands. I'm not going to say the amount, the thousands of folks who were killed in Jasenovic's death camp there in present-day Croatia. So he was in Sremska Mitrovica. The reason he went to Sremska Mitrovica, they say it was had the highest death toll of deaths on present-day Serbian soil from World War II. Over 8,000 folks. I said the number 8,000 folks killed in Sremska Mitrovica, but somebody's going to say, oh, it was 300,000 or it was 1 million. I don't know. Anyway, the number said 8,000. Memorial Park they have there in Sremska Mitrovica. They have these 2 trenches and 7 mounds. And they say in World War II, the Nazis and the Ustaše forced Serbians to dig these holes, and then they shot them, and they poured lime on them and buried them there. You know, so Vucic was there, and he made some really, really good speeches about how most of the world doesn't know about Jasenovac, and people need to, I don't know. Anyway, you don't want to hear about what he had to say. Zlatibor, it said currently Zlatibor had a big spike in the number of afflicted. And just a week ago or so, they said Zlatibor, Western Serbia was doing really, really well, but they had a big spike here. It said they tested 49 people, 9 were positive, and 2 passed away. Mršu pičku materinu. This is what I hate. See? Fucking people. I'm just going to start deleting everybody who does that. Anyway, 49 cases, 9 positive, 2 deaths, and that's in Požega, Bajina Bašta, Užice, and Arilje, that little part of Western Serbia. Actually, this part, right over here. Oh, I moved that. What else? Serbian military spending. This was kind of interesting. It said Serbian military spending rises 43%. And it's talking 2019 numbers. Serbia's military rose 43% in 2019, the biggest expenditure in the Western Balkans. It said Serbia's army was arming itself intensively with the help of Russia. They spent a total of $1.14 billion, I think this was quoted in dollars, in total military spending. Their budget was $796 million. When you look at the amount spent, they said, Serbia and Croatia were the highest in 2019 at over $1 billion. Second was Albania at $189 million. So that's a big, drastic drop. And then Bosnia was third at $183 million. North Macedonia fourth at $151 million. That's surprising. I didn't think North Macedonia would have that much of an army. Average salary in February, it's talking about Serbian salaries here. So the average salary in February this year was high. Oh, yeah. Average salary in February higher than a year earlier. Okay, I wrote that really weird. So anyway, they said that this February 2020's average salary here in Serbia was higher than it was last year. It said the average gross salary in February of 2020, gross here, is 80,200 dinars. That's the gross salary. Net, the average net salary here in February 2020 was 58,000 dinara. So that's about $570 net. And that's 10% higher than it was at this time last year. So salaries have gone up about 10%. I'd hate to see what it is next year. Opposition leaders, they're calling for the Serbian government to revoke this holiday curfew. Okay, Dragan Đilas, he's the head of the opposition. he's very angry about this 4-day mandatory curfew. He says, I'm calling you to withdraw. He said, I'm calling you to withdraw how come I can't read my writing? I'm calling on you to withdraw the measures to lock up 6 million people for 4 days. Give up the idea of turning Serbia into the biggest prison in Europe, is what he said. Let me say it again. I'm calling you to withdraw the measures to lock up 6 million people for 4 days. Give up the idea of turning Serbia into the biggest prison in Europe. That's what Gila said. He said the public is paying the price for incompetence, arrogance, madness, and ignorance. And lies. Oof. He said he thinks people should have the ability to, to put some measures, but not to force us to stay inside for 4 days. He said it was the worst place to be in Europe. For that. The biggest lockdown in all of Europe, he said, was here. Nova.rs. About maybe a month ago or so, that one reporter was locked up. She was arrested here in Novi Sad, actually, because she went to a hospital and she claimed that the hospital was lacking in PPE, personal protective equipment, and everything. It wasn't well equipped to handle this. And so they arrested her, and that's when the government said you can no longer go to the hospitals. You have to talk to the government for information on that. But anyway, she just had the charges dropped. She was charged for creating panic. That's what they call it. But anyway, they dropped the charges on her. And my friends, that's it. That's all that's going on here on day 42. I'm drinking some mint tea, and I'm just going to chill out and clean up my apartment and get ready for my haircut tomorrow. Then Wednesday, I'm going to check out that new gig. I told you that company wants me to go check out their, I'm not going to tell you their products, to check out the products because they're going to hire me to be their face and voice of their product in the United States. They're watching. So you're going to love how I look when I go there tomorrow because I'm going to look beautiful. Anyway, my friends, that's it for me. Have a great day. Ciao, ciao. Oh, and I about forgot. The interesting part of the video, somebody asked me, this map here, they said to tell something special quickly about each highlighted or each black place on here. Okay, these are the biggest cities in Serbia. So let me tell you, I know quite a bit about your country. I'll tell you just to make it quick because there's a lot of them. Sombor, Serbia. Yes, I've been to Sombor. Sombor's got a beautiful center. The most notable thing for me from Sombor, Nikola Jokic was born and raised in Sombor, Serbia. Subotica, Serbia. Subotica, I think, is the second prettiest city in all of Serbia. It's absolutely gorgeous. Interesting things about Subotica. There was something called Jugoland in Subotica. It was like a play park that was themed after Yugoslavia. So I thought that was kind of interesting. It's also by Lake Palić. A big, beautiful lake is up there. Kikinda, the most significant thing I can think of from Kikinda. Kikinda has a woolly mammoth that you can see there. The bones of a woolly mammoth that's put together really well. Zrenjanin, Serbia. Zrenjanin, oh my God, what can I tell you? I know a lot of things about Zrenjanin, but one of the coolest things, the green bridge right there in the middle of Zrenjanin, Serbia. That's the first city I ever lived in Serbia. The bridge was designed by the guy who designed the Eiffel Tower there. So I thought that was really interesting. The same guy. Novi Sad, come on. There's too much. I'm not even going to say that. Sremska Mitrovica. Sremska Mitrovica, as you heard today, that was the biggest genocide in World War II. The biggest loss of life, supposedly, on Serbian soil was right here in Sremska Mitrovica in Memorial Park. You can see it. They had like almost 8,000 people slaughtered there by the Ustaše and by the Nazis. And it's also formerly known as Sirmium. There's lots of Roman emperors from there. Almost under the whole entire city, there's ruins. I mean, it's a really fun little town. I lived there for 4 months at one point. Pančevo. I also lived in Pančevo, Serbia. What do I know about Pančevo? Pančevo, what can I tell you? Pančevo was like, I mean, the first thing that pops into my head, it was voted the dirtiest, the most polluted city in all of Serbia, which I think is an absolute disgrace because the city is actually beautiful. It's really close to Belgrade. It's fun. It's got a beautiful little promenade along the river. It's also got a windmill restaurant that's cool. It's in the shape of a big windmill. And the guy on the Hiljada dinara bill, George Weifert, is from Pančevo, the most significant person that I can think of. Belgrade, that's the capital. I'm not even going to mention it. Smederevo. Smederevo, I had the best ribla chorba I've ever eaten in Smederevo. Smederevo, that means like Iron Town, doesn't it? Isn't that what somebody told me? It's got a really awesome fortress, well-preserved fortress, one of the prettiest ones I've seen right along the river. They're in Smederevo. Požarevac. Požarevac is the most significant thing. I met the the grandson of Slobodan Milosevic. I shook his hand. He took me to Slobodan Milosevic's home. I got to see his grave. Slobodan Milosevic was born and raised there in Požarevac. And my best friend in the whole world was born in that opština in Lučica. Bor. Most significant thing I can think of, Bor. I've never been to Bor, but the most significant thing I can think of is it's known for mining. It's a very wealthy town, and they've got lots and lots of mines there. Zaječar. Zaječar, first thing, being a beer lover. I've never been to Zaječar either. This is a part of Serbia I've never been, really. Right over here. But Zaječar is home of Zaječarsko pivo, my favorite pivo. Pirot. Pirot's one of my favorite places. One of the poorest parts of Serbia is right here. Dimitrovgrad and Pirot. But unbelievable nature right through here. You've got, what's the name of that? Stara Planina Mountains. Gorgeous. Beautiful villages out here. Untouched nature. Very few tourists. But here in Pirot, they've got two things. They're really known for making this awesome design on these handmade carpets. And also, they have, it's called Peglana Kobasica. It's rolled, ironed sausages, and it's known to be good for your, male potency. Leskovac. Leskovac is known for its rostil. It's one of the best places to get the best meat. Gorgeous nature down in this part, too. Prakuple, it was always, what do I think of with Prakuple? I think it's the weirdest thing to say ever. Prakuple, 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 Prakuple. I've been to Prakuple a few times. What can I tell you about it? There's a big military base in Prakuple. I don't know, that's all I can think of. Vranje, that's where they talk really bad, but it's beautiful. Beautiful part of the country. This is really close to the Albanian, big populated Albanian segments. Well, this is all Albanian, the vast majority of Albanian part of Serbia too, but this is in the non-disputed territories. There's Preševo, and it's in that opština. But Vranje is beautiful. They have very bad potager. They don't use it very well. Kruševac. What do I know from Kruševac? That used Tsar Lazar. There's some ruins there. I think Tsar Lazar, was he born there, or some significant big thing happened there? There's a lot of history in Kruševac, and I stayed there for 3 days one time, and I made a really cool video about it, but I can't remember now. Jagodina, that's like a really cool city. There's a big water park there, and the mayor, his name is Palma. And he's a big chubby guy. He looks like Chanak, and he's like former black belt, and he does all sorts of crazy things. He even paid the single parents to go on a free vacation so they would have sex and have babies. True story. Kragujevac. Kragujevac used to be the capital of Serbia. Big town. That's where Zastava, that's where the Jugos were built, and the currently present-day arms factory. Zastava, they make munitions, and Fiat headquarters. Kraljevo, Serbia, that means King City. I've been there, of course. I've been all these I just mentioned. Kraljevo, Nenad Krstić, the guy with the rakia. He used to play for Partizan, Oklahoma. He was born there. Čačak. Čačak is Čačak is pretty. I've been there 3 or 4 times now. I think 3 times. Čačak. What do I know about it? Nadezhda Petrovic. She's on the 200 dinara bill. She's from there. Who else? Miroslav Ilić. Stepa Stepanovic is from Čačak. Užice. What do I know? Oh, Užice. This is one of the few cities that did not fall. It was a big partisan stronghold. Užice. And they have it's beautiful. It's in this big valley. And there's a big fortress up on top. And what else? There's something else significant, but I can't think off the top of my head. Around it, you've got Mokra Gora, you've got Zlatibor. This part of Serbia is really beautiful, big in tourism also. Valjevo. Valjevo, Serbia, another pretty city. I've never been to Valjevo, unfortunately. Valjevo is where that friend of mine sent me the stuff from Greece, that mountain. Gosh, I can't even think of the name of it. Anyway, Valjevo. Teodosic, one of my favorite Serbian basketball players, is from Valjevo. Šabac. Sandra Afrika is from Šabac. Šauben Šaulic is from Šabac. Serbia. They have a big Vašar there. The first Serbian uprising is from a little place called, what is that little place? Mišar. Isn't that the name of it? I think, isn't that one with the second Serbian uprising? One of those. Anyway, that's pretty good, huh? And that is it, my friends. I forgot to do that, but now you got it. Ciao.